All right, taking a look at the NDX. This is the NASDAQ uh, index, but the stock is QQQ, which is pretty much the same chart. And I'm going to compare it to the market because the NASDAQ looks a lot weaker than the general market right now. It looks like it wants to lead this move down. The little last pullback barely affected the NASDAQ, but this one looks really mean. So I feel like this move down, assuming it happens, this is not investment advice. Please like and subscribe. Um, assuming it happens, the Qs look like they will do worse than the general market in terms of maybe a put option or, shorting or just getting out of it. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the S&P because the S&P has much better trend lines to figure out sort of the depth and the timing. It's kind of hard to tell, sort of a previous idea here. So you can see this stab before came down a lot farther out of the channel than it did on the NASDAQ, but this one has not come down anywhere near as far as the NASDAQ. So it looks like the NASDAQ was super bullish still, and the NASDAQ is turning over now more than the general market. But what we can see here is we're coiling under this neckline. So this neckline here is really hot. Like, it's attacking it up, attacking it down, tap, 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 on top of it, on top of it, on top of it, breaks underneath it, right? So we'll probably get a little coil here. And then that could be a day or 2 days or 3 days of coiling. And then we'll probably just cry and probably double tap is what I'm thinking. For sort of an option trade. Yeah, that is the idea. Like coil, and then rain. See, there's a neckline right here. It's a perfect spot to hit. So using the S&P for timing is good, but I would be looking to short the NASDAQ. But when you tap these downtrend lines, you can see back at the previous one, you can get a pretty mean bounce and then a follow through, right? And then we would be shooting straight back up to the neckline. So this is a bunch of vertical moves that are killer for options trading. And you can see right here, kind of the same kind of thing. You bounce super hard off. This one came all the way back up to this neckline. I doubt this one would go that high, but it's possible you go like all the way up here and then back. But this trade down is basically the trade setup that I'm looking for. And it looks like March 11th, it's going to be getting down there. And so, it's like a 1 week down move. So the general idea with options that I like to do is strike exactly at your strike price so that you can sell to close real close to at the money, but buy a lot of extra time. So like 3 times the amount of time or 4 times the amount of time. So you want like the April contract with this exact strike price way out of the money is like the super aggressive way to do it. The other thing to do is just, kind of strike out double the timeline, but strike a way higher, closer to the money, like just a little bit out of the money. That's kind of a safer way to do it, but it's not exponentially as big of a win as striking at the real price and then giving yourself more time. You'll get a way bigger exponential move doing that. Yeah. So that's kind of like the trade down, and then this bounce, if we get this kind of bounce, is going to be, the height could be really low. It could go all the way back up to the neckline. I mean, there's a pretty good spot here. That's the target. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go all the way here. And then we'll need to get confirmation of it coming back down, but we could go all the way back down here again, and then all the way back up here. At which point, I think we'll do some crazy stuff around the neckline, and I think that we have a little top coming, maybe off the back of this thing, and like this is what I'm seeing as like the top of the everything bubble, like the top of the top. up here, and it's above this neckline, so it's not just going to do a cute little rollover. It's going to be doing who knows crazy stuff up here until it gets down under the neckline. This is going to be really hard to trade up here. Yeah, so that's kind of the look that I have right now on the general market. And just now, this is kind of a normal thing, like you kind of roll out of tech stocks before you get to the top of the bubble, stock market bubble. So I think this move down is going to be rolling out of tech stocks. And if you look, let me go out to maybe like a 4-hour chart. So if you look here, kind of the areas where it looks like we might bounce, we have like the huge bull channel support here that's going to be extremely difficult to break through. This is like three monster support lines. Like going through this is going to be pretty much impossible right here. But this little bounce here is more difficult to figure out. And you can see this choppy area here. It's like the bottom of this, probably somewhere around here, like halfway down this thing. That's what I'm thinking. But if you look at the Qs, if I can find them, that choppy area is quite a bit higher up. Like so, and since the Qs have already made such a big down move when the S&P hasn't quite yet, this could be extended, who knows, down here somewhere crazy. Like this chart is skewed to the upside, and now if we're rolling out of big tech on this down move, it can be skewed to the downside. Could be a pretty mean move. That's what it looks like is happening right now, is the market's just going to come down for one or two kind of vertical, the knife edge, the catch a falling knife. Everyone says like, don't catch a falling knife, blah, 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 blah. Wrong. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Catch this freaking knife right here, because we know exactly where it's going to bounce, because it threw this perfect down trend line. So you can see here, you get stab, stab, roll, stab, and then roll, and then you get another one, stab, stab, roll. So we just stab. As soon as you stab the trend line, you got to get out of the trade, because it's going to bounce, and it can bounce pretty high. Just like this. I mean, you can see it did it just here. As soon as we stab down, we get a big bounce, and then we followed through and got to the bottom of the trend line, right near this support. And this is a double support, so it got a huge rejection here. And similarly, this probably will stab and then stab again. And this is a triple support. Like, there's no way we're getting through that thing. I mean, we're going up here. We're going to mess around with this neckline, and we're going to get up above this neckline and do the everything bubble topping rollover thing. I mean, who knows? This thing could get like up into the 4,000s. It could be chopping around, doing crazy stuff. We might reject off the bottom of this channel, something like that. Worry about that later. That's the idea. That's the look. I think that we are setting up some down moves. Let me get out to a wider chart so that you can just see what I'm talking about on the whole thing, right? So you get stab, 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 and this is our bull channel here that we've been on for 12 years or whatever. And you can see the support is ridiculous in this thing. Like every time we get to the bottom of this bull channel, we get really hot reactions off of it. And every time we get to the top, we roll back over, just like, yeah. But this is the cool thing in this. We started stabbing down and setting up this downtrend line, but look, tow, 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 hard to get through, but stabbed through, right back up. It's hitting, can't get through, bang. The COVID crash like destroyed this thing. And then we get back on top and we're hitting it. And so if we pull down here to this support, like this is ridiculous support. There's no way we're getting through that thing. So this is the knife's edge right here. That's what it's all about, catching the knife. That's exactly where the knife is. It's freaking March 23rd at 3383 on the S&P. And then that should blow up here. Like this is going to be a hell of a vertical move for a call option right here. You could be crazy and try to call it to the top and figure out where it is. Just trading to the neckline is probably the safe one. I'll probably do a safe trade here and then like a little out of the money crazy trade for that one. Or maybe just, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what it's going to do up here at all, so I don't really like getting into trades where I just have no idea what's going on. But this thing could be bouncing and rolling and who knows what. Yeah, anyway, that's the top of the everything bubble plan. That may or may not happen, but it does have a lot of killer good trend lines. And then I'd like to point out this is a shape that forms in a lot of bubbles where you get the downtrend line, but you keep hopping higher, and then we have this bull channel just like really cool. This is such a cool chart, just like mathematical, and the bull channel is really cool, and like really good Elliott waves on a lot of these moves. But like the intersection of these two things is where you hit, and that's the same thing on this little down channel. So we're setting up down channels. There's a little intersection here, as I was just looking at. So boom, we caught that intersection and just flew up, right? Flew up over the neckline. We didn't even really stop at the neckline. So maybe something like that. And this is an even bigger, way bigger intersection. So we might just fly straight through the neckline and go up, who knows, up here somewhere, back in the channel. That would be kind of cool if we like got in the channel. Maybe we'll get all these trend lines up here and go for like a super top. That would not surprise me one bit. Like we just blow through this thing and we get in the channel again and go up to the top, the very top of this freaking thing, and then we start raining and probably would hit it, and then we need a back test of this thing, and then we're kind of in a hot zone. There's probably like some coiling that would be happening in here, and then if we get back up in here, like some coiling that would be happening in here or something like that. Probably not quite this vertical. It would roll over a lot more than that, like roll over, coil, roll. Oh, there's an intersection right here. That's an awesome target. Boom. There's freaking spots just like mapped out. And then yeah, this back test is like the death kiss for the everything bubble. Once you back test underneath the huge bull support line, the 12-year bull support, the back test underneath it is just done. And this will just rain just straight down, boom, right to there. And that is the blow off top. What is it? Feb 22. It's February 22nd next year at 1975. And then if you, yeah, I don't know, depending on inflation or deflation, I think we're going into an inflationary kind of thing. So I mean, this is a big intersection. Like you'll have a mean pop off of here, like maybe to this area or something. And then it's bear market time, right? So this is going to be pretty wild. That's going to be pretty wild. But like a bear market, if you're in a high inflation environment, which we might be at that point, is not going to be like a big, Great Depression looking crash. Like it's probably just going to wave out sideways and do like a stagflation looking thing. If it turns out that, I don't know, that this thing does look really bearish, then it's probably still deflationary, and we probably, the next cycle down in interest rates probably would go to negative interest rates, and then you could get the Great Depression looking thing if we are still in a down cycle, deflationary down cycle during a crash like that. So that's obviously next year. We can worry about that stuff. Right now we're in an inflationary move up, but the question is on the next cycle down, which would be happening next year sometime, or 2 years out maybe. Do we crash down to negative interest rates, or do we crash down to like higher interest rates, like 2% or something, and start like an inflationary move with higher interest rates? So I don't know if we've bottomed on our interest rates yet. We hit the zero bound twice now, so maybe it's reversing up now, but it's possible to crash down to negative interest rates in a few years. Oh, and let me show you this whole thing I just explained on the game stonk. Let's check this out. This is like a 5-minute chart. Okay, so this is our current move. We just consolidated and just blew out of the consolidation zone and just started going vertical at close today. So that'll be pretty interesting to see what GameStop is doing tomorrow. So GameStop looks like it's crashing and exploding up, and like the NASDAQ is crashing and exploding down. And like everything else is following those two things. Those are the two things that are happening. And the dollar is going up. So people are rotating out of stocks and into like dollars and bonds. And then Reddit is rolling into GameStop and all the other meme stocks. So Wall Street Bets is going to be freaking out tomorrow if we paint like 300 or something to open. But I would not be surprised. It looks like we just like took off. It looks like we just did the breakout and took off like right into close. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it opening at 300 or something tomorrow. Anyway, let me show the GameStop bubble and explain the same stuff. So here, let me just like show like what each part of this bubble is like relative to the everything bubble in the stock market. So like you come into the bull channel, right? And this bull channel is obviously a lot crazier than the kind of steady bull channel that we've had in the S&P, but it's pretty similar. I mean, this like first crash is like a Black Monday kind of thing. This is like 1970 or something, and then like 82 we started taking off in the stock market, right? And then you get the Black Monday crash, and then you go up and you get like the .com and the housing bubble crashes, like this double choppy one here. And then you go on your big bull run up to 2018 is where we started the Volmageddon chop. This is Volmageddon basically here. Yeah, let's get in on this thing. This is pretty cool. And there's overnight trading, so it's missing a little bit. This stock moves so fast, but yeah, this chop is this. That's Volmageddon, and this is like the end of the 2018 crash here, right? And then this is like the COVID crash here, triple tap, and then you get up here. This is where we are right here. We're about to pull down into, oh, I guess maybe this would be the COVID crash here, the big one. And then you spring up, yeah. So this is like Volmageddon and 2018 crashes here. There's more stabs down on this chart than ours, but this is like the big run up and the rollover and the first stab, the COVID. And this stabbed all the way down to this line, I promise, but it went overnight trading, so you can't see what actually happened there. But it stabbed and bounced, and then we went up to the top here. Oh no, this is going to the top. No, this was right. Yeah, this would be like the COVID thing here. And then it didn't stab all the way down. This isn't like a perfect map to like the thing, but you can just see like on the way up, you kind of like stab up into these bubbly things, right? And come down to support. And then when you're topping, you start stabbing down, but you keep going up, stab down, keep going up, stab down, keep going up until eventually you get to a top. And so on this one, you can see like how the neckline's here, like we just did the whole neckline thing, right? And we're stabbing down. But we don't have quite this chart. Like we have the pattern I just showed you. It wasn't open sailing down to the downtrend line like it is here, but you can see how high it popped up here above the sort of the grinding neckline, and then it crashes down, and then it doesn't get underneath the support line here. It's hopping on top of it, which is interesting. I don't think that's what the stock market would do just from the way that the bull market's set up, but yeah, this is pretty cool. It crashed past the line. I think this might have to do with Robinhood turning off trading and stuff like that, but just stabbing down to the line is not crazy. And then yeah, and then we got on top of the bull line again because it's right here, and then yeah, and then you get the bear market. So once it turned over and you're hitting your head on the way down here, like just like can't, it bounces off the neckline, it bounces off the channel, right? It bounces off the neckline, bumping your head, and then stab, and then there's this lower kind of neckline that's at like the .com and housing bubble area, and so it crosses the channel and then stabs again. Anyway, that's like, this is like a bull market and bear market like whole bubble with pretty good movement, right? And then we come down to support, do the W bear trap reversal, and then yeah, this is what our stock market's gonna do in like 20 or 30 years. Yeah, I don't think so. This stock is crazy, but you can see it's flown up here to the neckline at 200, rejected straight down to the lower neckline right here. Like it's using these necklines from the previous bubble. This thing is really crazy. Yeah, now we have hit the top here. We did 2 breakups out of here. So you paint like this top edge, and it's a similar space, and then we just consolidated across and picked up, check this thing out. Check out what it did into close. So we're consolidating on this thing, and it went and it broke through and popped back up onto the support trend line, and then it hit it again, popped, back tested the channel, popped, and then it back tested the support trend line, and then it just popped into close again. So that's like super hot breakout that picked up all the trend lines, and there's nothing in the way now. Like the only thing in the way is just like breaking through these little weak kind of channel areas in the middle, and then it's just like the lower trend line we already tested, so we can easily break through that this time. The 200 line is not going to be resistance. I mean, we might wobble around on it a little bit, but we'll go straight through that. This is yeah, this intersection here, the top neckline and the top, that's my target. When does that happen? During trading tomorrow. Yeah, it's like before close. It's like in the afternoon tomorrow. We should be around 340 if this chart is remotely accurate. I think that's a good target. I keep moving the trend lines around a little bit as we shift and wiggle. Like this green kind of channel trend line is what I was using as support before, and then we broke down. I'm like, oh, that's wrong. But anyway, this is the game stock that's leading all the meme stocks crashing up, while we have the NASDAQ and the Qs leading the crash down. And let me look at Tesla, because Tesla is part of the down crash apparently. Tesla should be in the meme stock category, but it's not. This is the NASDAQ rollover. It's the same thing. So Tesla kind of topped and started stabbing down. It's a weird, let me get out to like hours on Tesla. Yeah, this is such a weird one. So we got the consolidation, we got a couple stabs, kind of set up a neckline. It's a really weak top. It doesn't have a lot of trading action. It doesn't, whatever. It just kind of started stabbing down now. But this is only a first set of down stabs on Tesla. So, I mean, we have broken underneath the support line. So that's really bad. And we've stabbed way down here. And now we're not even getting back up towards support. Like I thought we were gonna dead cat bounce like back up here to the neckline to support. But it looks like it just wants to roll over with the NASDAQ. So I don't know. This is a really weird chart, but I mean, there's this kind of down. It's not the same thing. I guess it is. Yeah, we have 2 sets of down action, and we've stabbed through. This is it's just kind of weird. I mean, this is where they intersect, so I think this is a good target for Tesla on the downside. 509 on March 10th. And I have no idea what in the world. I mean, that kind of double down has got to pop pretty hard, and who knows? Maybe the Tesla bubble's not over. Maybe we go up and do a Oh, you know what? You know what would be cool? Let me tighten these trend lines a little bit. Yeah, you can see the trading action like inside of this trend line with the neck here. It's like, you know what would be a cool way to get a top on Tesla? This down move is hot. Like we're on the outside of this thing. We're wobbling. Like this is all kind of hot, and these two trend lines is going to be mad support. If we get down here, I'm not interested in shorting Tesla because it's just weird looking, but this is going to be a freaking nice edge reversal. And that thing could get up to like a new top underneath the support trend line. And then who freaking knows? Like that could be the top of Tesla, and then there's like nothing to work with. I mean, we still have the necklines to work with, but that would be a pretty cool reversal that's like is backtesting the support line, but it's like making a new top while it's backtesting the support line. Like I've never seen something like that. So this is a really bad call, but more likely, you know what? I think more likely is we probably just go up here, and then Tesla freaking dive bombs again. I think that's the dead cat to 800 that I was talking about, but this isn't hot enough. Like these two downtrend lines have to converge, and then you get the big blast. I think that's what we're doing with Tesla. But this drama scenario up here, I don't think we can make it back up there. Maybe, I don't know. That's probably more likely. But anyway, if we do happen to get to this intersection here, March 10, 508, whatever, that is a killer place for a call option to the neckline. And then we'll have to figure out what's going on. Yeah, anyway, Tesla apparently is part of the crash. It's part of the big tech crash. It's part of the Qs, and what, it's in the S&P now too? Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, all the other meme stocks are blowing up. I mean, we have AMC. Yeah, some of these have relatively similar charts, like BlackBerry and AMC have similar charts to GameStop. Cost kind of does it. Rocket's on its own little thing. It's different. Yeah. What else? Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's oil doing? I've been trying to track like commodities because we're getting a commodity breakout. Yeah, oil started doing this kind of topping pattern. Like it's stabbing, you know, it's like rejecting off a super long-term resistance here. This is the down trend line, like the top of it's like the strong dollar reversal trend line that always knocks oil down hard, and it usually like crashes big time. But we've picked up support on the bull market channel line. So maybe the commodity bull market is gonna get us freak out of here, and we break out of this crazy long-term down channel for oil. Let me go either that or we just break down. Like we had these down channels set up here. I was looking at this. I had oil shorts on, and I was aiming for like this thing, and we didn't make it there. Yeah, like we just rejected up off the bull support, and this might be a complete oil crash fake out that turns into a commodity boom for oil. But it's in a weird space right now. As long as it's in this space, like below monster resistance and above the bull market line, like this thing is just crazy. I won't be touching oil while it's in here. But I think if we pop out the top of this thing, it might just be freaking oil on, or if we break somehow, we could still rain down here like tomorrow, I guess that's possible, then it would be kind of the oil collapse scenario. So we'll probably find out in a couple weeks if we're in an oil bull market or we're freaking crashing. Gold just keeps pulling back, and maybe it's kind of at a level where it should probably bounce up a little bit, but it just keeps getting weak and falling. Silver is testing resistance. It looks okay. It pulled back a bit, but yeah, I want to see if this market crashes, does it pull silver down under this support? Like if silver gets under the support, it gets pretty scary looking. Silver's questionable right now. I want to see what it does. Platinum's in a big breakout. It just broke out of a super long-term channel. We're out on top. Platinum bull market is on. Copper is more ridiculous. Let me go to weeklies. So we're getting commodity break. I mean, check copper out. Like copper's been in this channel for a while and just like exploded out of the top. And so the commodities, when they break out of these channels, don't pull back and do like a back test like you see in the stock market. Like that's just the freaking commodity bull channel. Like it might turn over at some point, but it's not gonna like back test the tip of this thing. That's not happening. Yeah, here's the same kind of thing. So platinum was in a really mean bear market consolidation channel, and it broke out hard too. And 7 to maybe more upside on platinum. I mean, platinum went from 5 to 13. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, it looks like we're getting super commodity breakouts, which is all really bad for the stock market as well. It makes sense for the stock market to be kind of rolling into a bear area when commodities start breaking out like this. What's Bitcoin doing? Let's get an hourlies. If we're getting into an inflationary environment, Bitcoin should be really cool. But this is ugly. Like we did. Oh, this trend line's way off. Not even close. I'll have to redraw that thing. Yeah, we have a trend line somewhere in here. It's like there. But this is not really like a bullish looking flag. This is looking like a double top right now. It doesn't look very good, and Bitcoin does often sell off with the market, just like silver does. So we'll see if Bitcoin, like maybe Bitcoin just sells off to support, or maybe it does a false breakdown. I don't know. We'll have to see. Bitcoin might get weird, but if you look at Ethereum, Ethereum has broken off of it, like way down under its support, and it's just like wobbling around under support. It's just really weird looking. Trying to figure out where it is. That one has a pretty angled down top. That's probably a good spot actually right there. I think we're in a down channel on Ethereum, like a really ugly, super down channel. But this angled top right here looks like it's grinding on us on a line. And these are definitely stabs down through support, and this is just a crossover of it. I mean, where does this freaking go? Oh my god, what in the world? Is that possible? Like, what in the hell? I don't even know where we would be going. Like, Ethereum could freaking... Like, if this is just the channel crossover and that's resistance, like, holy crap, Ethereum could bomb to, like, oh no. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen, but this is not a good chart. Let's check out doggies. They're just the weirdest freaking thing ever. This is the craziest action around the top and outside of a freaking downtrend line I've ever seen. So this is almost like Tesla's kind of stabbing through that line, and it was like on the outside of the line, and then it just flagged out sideways, and it's just like ignoring all the lines, and it's just kind of wobbling around this kind of level. This is a weird chart. I have no idea. It's kind of still on the bearish side of this line, I guess. But what is that? I have no idea what's going on. But this is the kind of thing that makes Tesla look weird. Like I think it's going to pull down, but who knows? Maybe Tesla does something like this, like just freaking goes sideways or something weird. AG. Oh, let me go to a super long chart on this, like weeks. This is a cool chart. So this thing has been in a huge consolidation zone, and it just popped out the top of it. And so I really like this chart, the silver miners, and this is a very good look for silver, and so is all the other commodity breakouts. It's like the stock market pulling back is not a good short-term thing for silver, but the commodity breakouts and the silver miner breakout is really awesome. This thing's coming to support at like 14, like right now. Maybe it double taps it. Maybe there's a little trend line here. I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. Like that thing looks kind of like a trend line, like it's, you know, this thing's like grinding at an up angle. That might be useful here, something like that. Yeah, this might like come down to support and pop and then pick up the trend line over here or something. But this looks awesome around 14. I'm gonna be buying this thing up. Oh yeah, and then I was saying, if you get 100 shares of First Majestic and then you call your brokerage firm and get them to send you the paper stock certificate, you can use that certificate to get a discount buying silver bullion from the First Majestic silver store, which is pretty cool. Like this is my favorite silver mining stock, and it's also my favorite silver company. They mint their own silver coins. I just got a shipment of them 2 weeks ago. It just came a week ago. Yeah, anyway, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm going to get shares, get the little certificate, buy some more silver coins. I think I'm bullish on silver because of this and because of the commodity breakouts. Even though I don't like the chart that much, it's just kind of grinding at resistance right now. There's nothing wrong with the chart. What else? I don't know. There's a bunch of meme stocks. A lot of these meme stocks are doing something similar to GameStop, but I like the tech. The kind of small tech meme stocks are not looking pretty, a lot of them. Like, oh, Zoom was a funny one. Zoom went freaking nuts since January, right? Zoom has just been going absolutely nuts, and now it's just doing this super weird kind of pin it down. Is this a bullish pin it? I mean, it looks like a bullish kind of consolidation pin it. Like it just did a really weird hit against the top right there. But I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if this is a pin it. Tech stocks are starting to roll out and get weak, and this may just be a double top. That's just bad. And we just got a huge like reach and a huge reversal off this thing. I don't think that's actually a consolidation channel. That's the weirdest thing ever. I think that this is going to come down with the tech stocks to where? Like down to here? Like the stock's too new. It doesn't even have any trend lines to work with really. Like, oh my goodness, if Zoom goes to 500 to like 80, I think that's unlikely. Probably what usually happens with these kind of things is it's just kind of like whatever. It'll just start doing something like that, and who knows where support is. Like there's no lines really to work with on this thing. Skeet. The Tanger, I think it's called Tanger Outlets. It's been kind of like reacting to the meme stock bubbly stuff, but it's just on a bull trend line. Yeah, okay, that's enough. Put call. What are the put calls doing? People are still pretty call-y. People like the market. People are super long. There's tons of margin debt. There's tons of call options, and those call options are about to get smashed this week, is what it looks like. And we're going to be over here in the red zone. And then we can go back up and get more call options. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what it looks like to me. And happy trading.